To the young man without a shirt, you need to put on a shirt. You're actually technically in court.
In custody's first. But we're gonna start with the case of Joe Benjamin Gehring. He bonded out on the 10th day of June for $1,500 with AAA bonding. He was arrested. I'm not sure if it was the sheriff's office or Wildlife and Parks or who it was, but anyway, he was arrested for suspicion of boating under the influence. I'm going to presume the county attorney's office got something with regard to this case, but at this point, they've not elected to file.
Your
Now,
Honor, my
yes.
office has received this office, as I understand it, and information has not yet been filed regarding Mr. Gehring.
That's what I said. They've not filed charges.
That is my understanding, Your Honor, yes.
That's what it looks like. So what that means, Mr. Gehring, is sometimes, I don't know your particular facts. They do have to provide an affidavit of probable cause to the county attorney's office, but sometimes there's further testing that needs to be done. They need additional evidence. They need to look at videos. It can be a number of things. So they have up to I think it's 5 years to file a case. Generally, they don't wait that long unless it's a blood work and they're waiting for KBI and it slips through the cracks for a year or two, but that's pretty rare. But just because you're being released today and released on this bond does not mean that you cannot subsequently be charged. Ms. Cummings, different attorneys prefer different things. I could continue him on his bond and set this out a couple weeks for another first appearance and see if they're going to file charges or not. Or I can release him today. He'll have no bond. And we always direct that they make an effort to summons to someone's address on their driver's license or last known address. And they do generally always do that when someone's already been arrested first. But then, of course, if they don't get service, then they issue a warrant again, which is what we try to avoid. And sometimes when attorneys enter and give notice to the county attorney's office, there's not a real good mechanism for that I'm aware of. Sometimes attorneys get notified, sometimes they don't. So I don't know how you would rather proceed, whether you'd like me to set this out so you could see what the county attorney's office is really going to do and get a chance to talk to them. Or if you want me to just release him today, no further court hearing, and see what happens.
We would prefer to release him today, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Regier appears on behalf of the state. Is there anything you'd like to add? Ms. Cummings is appearing for her husband, Bill Cummings, who's representing Mr. Gehring on this case that's not been filed. Anything you want to add, Mr. Regier?
Nothing from the state at this time, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You're free to go.
Okay, thank you. So I guess I just wait and hear. If I hear something, then I will react then.
Yeah, the best thing is to notify the county attorney's office if you move. And always keep your driver's license current and make sure that Mr. Cummings knows how to get a hold of you. And I'm sure he'll send a letter to the county attorney's office on your behalf saying they are to contact him, that he represents you. But just confer with Nika or Mr. Cummings and they'll give you further advice and direction, okay?
Sounds good. I mean, I'd just like to add one thing. It was the warden. It was the warden. I don't know if that makes a difference, but it was the warden who had talked to me out on the water.
Okay.
And brought me in. So, okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
You
Thank
too.
you.
All right. Who's in custody there first? Is it Mr. Morrison?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. We are gonna go on the record in state of Kansas versus Robert Morrison. It is 2023 CR 299. The state appears by and through Mr. Regier. Mr. Morrison's in custody. Mr. Morrison, you've been charged in Butler County District Court 23 CR 299 with one count of criminal trespass. It's alleged that on or about the 13th day of June 2023, that you went on to and that is apparently a location in which you'd been told not to enter or be at, or there were signs, or it was fenced, but in some way it was made clear to you not to be on the property and you went on the property. That's what's called a criminal trespass. It is a B non-person misdemeanor. If you were convicted, it would carry a maximum of 6 months and $1,000 fine. There are no mandatory minimums. I'm going to enter a not guilty plea for you. I assume that you would like to have a chance to talk to an attorney about this case.
Yes.
All right. And you're going to be able to hire your own attorney?
No, I cannot.
Okay, why is that?
I'm only on Social Security,
How old are you?
60,
How long have you been on Social Security?
the last 35 years.
All right. Are you a resident of Butler County?
Yes, I am.
Do you live in Augusta?
Yes, I do.
How long have you lived there?
Last 4 years?
Do you own your own home there that's paid for?
No, I do not.
Do you own a car that's paid for?
No, I do not.
All right, I'm gonna appoint Darren Patterson to represent you. You're to not be on the premises that I outlined or have any contact with any state witnesses that are endorsed on the either the second sheet or the back of your charging document, which is your information. And your court date with Judge Webster is September the 11th at 8 o'clock. Recommendation on bond.
Your Honor, if the state will order all special conditions, the state is prepared to proceed with a 1,000 cash or surety bond. I think the court has already addressed no contact with the property. Additionally, besides no contact with endorsed witnesses, I'm assuming that would also be no contact with the victim as well as any co-defendants.
Yes. So my question to you, Mr. Morrison, is can you make $1,000 bond? It'll be about $100 or thereabouts.
No,
You have somebody that can get some money to a bondsman?
no.
Well, when do you get your next Social Security check?
On the 3rd.
Do what?
On the 3rd, next month.
You don't have any family members or friends or anything that would front you $100?
My daughter's on vacation right now in Pensacola.
Who is?
My daughter.
Well, she could probably wire some money. Do you have some money in your checking account?
Not enough.
How much do you have in your checking account?
Probably $30.
Are you gonna be able to stay away from this location and not
Oh,
get
yeah.
into trouble with the law?
Yes, no problem. Yes.
When is the last time he's been arrested or convicted or been in any kind of trouble at all, Mr. Regier?
Your Honor, it looks like this defendant does have a conviction from 2018. So within the last 5 years or so, it appears to be a felony drug conviction.
Okay. Mr. Morrison, are you using drugs while you're on Social Security?
No.
Are you would you test positive for anything today if I ordered them to have you produce a UA?
No,
What about a hair follicle? That goes
That's
back
fine.
6 months.
no,
So you're ready to do that today for me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna do a 2,000 OR bond. You better not violate your bond conditions. Augusta Police Department's pretty aggressive. If you violate, you'll be in jail and you'll go in front of Judge Webster and you probably won't make a bond. Or if you fail to appear, we're gonna take a $2,000 judgment against you. They're gonna add it onto your case if you're convicted. If not, they're gonna do some kind of garnishment. Then your bond that you'll have to post, because you'll get arrested too if you fail to appear, will be double or triple. And sometimes Judge Webster does out no bond holds. And you can see how far out she's scheduling things, because this is September 11th. So you can pretty well guarantee you'll sit in custody for a minimum of 90 days. So you need to appear at every appearance. Now, she, through the chief judge, has continued her dockets by Zoom like we're doing right now. So if you don't have a smartphone and high-speed internet, or a computer with high-speed internet, and you're not savvy enough to download Zoom and use the app and make sure your audio and your video works and all of that, then you need to show up at the courthouse. And you see where Mr. Spickler is with the Sheriff's Department. I don't know if you're lieutenant, sergeant, captain. Are you still captain?
Sergeant
Sergeant.
Spickler, they're at the courthouse.
Yeah, I don't know if you can
Back.
see him at the Sallyport, but they will provide a place for you to be set up like you are right now with all the equipment you need to conduct your hearing. So don't wait too long to figure that all out, because again, Judge Webster will issue a warrant for you if you can't turn on your audio or video. Okay? No drugs, no alcohol, don't violate the law, but I am gonna let you sign your own bond.
thank you.
All right, you're excused. Mr. Regier, on these lower level offenses, I just cannot find that because someone is without funds, that they should sit in jail for 90 days. I mean, if this docket were 30 days, I would have accepted your recommendations. And I know it's not your fault that they're so backed up, but I just can't in good conscience tell people you don't have a hearing until almost 90 days and sorry you can't make a $100 bond or whatever. So that's why I denied your request.
And I do, while I am certainly not in favor of an OR bond in this particular case, I do understand the court's position, and I will, of course, submit to whatever orders the court may order.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, can you turn on your video? There you go. Can you get your face in front of it? There we go. Very good. All right, Mr. Stark. The state, by and through the prosecutor's office, which is the Butler County Attorney's Office, has charged you as follows in 2023 CR 298. In count one, on or about the 9th day of June 2023 in Butler County, Kansas, it's alleged that you unlawfully and without authority entered or remained within a dwelling or residence to which with the intent to commit a felony theft. or sexually motivated crime. A felony, a theft, or sexually motivated crime. So you entered or remained with the intent to commit another crime in a residence. It's what's known as a residential burglary. It is a level 7 person felony. And the sentencing range is anywhere from 11 months up to 34 months with the Department of Corrections. If you have 2-person felonies or more, you would be presumptive prison. If you are on bond or parole or probation for a felony at the time of this offense, you would be presumptive prison. And if you have 2 prior burglary charges, you would be presumptive prison. Otherwise, it is possible, if you were convicted, that you could receive probation. The fine amount is up to, I believe, $300,000. Then you're charged with stealing tools from an Antonio Canita. Doesn't mean you have to know the person, but it's alleged that on or about that day, he had tools stolen from his possession that were his, that you weren't authorized to take. It also is alleged you have 2 prior misdemeanor thefts, which makes this a level 9 non-person felony. The sentencing range for that is 5 months up to 17 months with the Department of Corrections. I'm going to enter a not guilty plea for you. It looks like Hot Rod has bonded you out. I will approve that bond with the understanding that you are not to go on or near this house on Cherokee. You're not to have any contact with the Mr. Candina or any of the endorsed potential witnesses in this case. Your bond that you've posted is $5,000. I entered not guilty plea. Are you currently working?
No,
Why not?
I don't know. I got laid off. Actually,
Did you get laid off?
yeah, I got laid off. Like last.
What?
Yeah, thing. I got laid off. I'm not working. I can't afford a lawyer.
Well, I suggest you get a job. I just went to Jimmy John's for lunch. They can't even fulfill people's orders because they don't have enough employees. There are places all around El Dorado, Wichita, I don't care where you go, the service industry, and there are not enough workers. I don't care where you go. I don't care where you have to work, but I'm ordering as part of your bond that you obtain employment. I'm going to appoint Jim Watts to represent you. Is there a co-defendant in this case, Mr. Regier?
Your Honor, I do not have that information at this point. However, I do have a note from Ms. Norris, and it would be the state's request that there be no contact with any co-defendants, as well as all the other special conditions previously iterated by the court.
Well, I'm trying to figure out who the co-defendant is because I don't want to assign the same attorney, but I'll let Mr. Watts figure that out. Mr. Starr, your assigned judge is Judge Crum. Your court date in front of him is August the 14th at 2:30.
Okay.
Get in touch with him as soon as you can. Stay in contact with him. Do not violate any conditions of your bond and appear as directed. I would suggest you practice with somebody on Zoom because the judge needs to see your face. And you can't seem to stay in the.
I can't hear you, so I gotta hold my phone to my ear first.
Well, you know what? A car is the very worst place to do this.
I get that.
All right. So find a better spot, have a better connection, make sure you're ready to go for your court hearing. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. You're free to go. Is Mr. Luna Junior Edward Louis or Luna Junior on here? There we go. All right, you're outside that, and it looks like you got the ocean or lake in the background, which is probably the only thing that's worse than, but it looks like you're working, so that's good.
Yeah, I'm working, ma'am. Sorry.
Very good. We are going to go on the record in Edward Luna. It is 2023 TR 2050. Mr. Luna, the state has charged you with fleeing or attempting to elude a police officer, driving while being a habitual violator, failing to stop at a stop sign, and no proof of insurance. It's alleged that on or about the 8th day of June 2023 in Butler County, Kansas, you did then and there unlawfully and willfully fail or refuse to bring a motor vehicle to a stop, or otherwise did flee or attempt to flee a pursuing police vehicle when given a visual or audible signal, to it, a hand, voice, siren, or emergency light. And it was clear that it was an official vehicle marked and that you were required to pull over. It's also alleged while you failed to pull over for the police, you also engaged in reckless driving. That's what makes it a felony. It is as charged a level 9, the person felony. These are person crimes because of the risk posed to the public when you try to evade a police officer. Again, these are just charges. I'm going to enter not guilty plea for you, but I have to tell you what a maximum sentence is you could receive if you were convicted. That is 5 months up to 17 months with the Department of Corrections and up to $100,000 fine. The habitual violators, up to 1 year in the county jail and up to a $2,500 fine. And then the count 3 and 4 are fines generally. And the no proof of insurance, although it's a B misdemeanor with up to 6 months and $1,000 fine, there is a mandatory minimum fine of $300. Sir, are you going to be able to hire an attorney by the time of your next court date, which will be September the 11th at 9 a.m.?
Yes, Your Honor. I should be
Okay.
able to.
Your Honor? Your Honor,
Yes.
being it's a felony, that's the misdemeanor control docket. It needs to be.
Oh, thank
applied.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. My bad. Before I forget, I'm going to approve your bond for $3,500 surety that you posted in the case, as long as you reappear and don't violate the law.
Yes, Your Honor.
The reason I don't know is because I don't have an assigned judge, and the judge I do have assigned is Judge Webster. So that's why, that's my excuse for making that mistake. So I have no idea who the district judge is that's assigned to this
Okay.
case.
Okay, Your Honor.
Well,
But
hang on, don't go anywhere.
All right.
We got to find what judge you're in front of so I can give you a court date, so that you can tell your attorney when you have to be in court.
Okay.
It is yours, Judge.
Do what?
It's yours.
Okay. I'm Judge Satterfield, District 1 or Division 1. Your court date will be in front of me the day
Okay.
after Labor Day, September 5th That's a Tuesday at 2:30 in the afternoon. That's your
Okay.
next court appearance, September 5th at 2:30. But you need to start working on an attorney right away.
Yes, Your Honor, I will do that.
You've got them secured. They know the court date. They've entered appearance. They've gotten your reports from the case, and they're ready to go in front of me on September 5th. Okay?
Okay, okay,
All right. Thank you.
Your
thank
Honor,
you.
Yes.
Given that an OR bond has already been executed in this case, as well as the fact that there is at least one level 9 felony currently before the court, the state would respectfully request as a special condition that the defendant not leave Butler County.
I'm not
Okay,
going
well,
anywhere.
I don't know anything about that. I'm gonna order that you not leave the state of Kansas. Because it looks like you work construction. You might be
Yeah.
at the lake, but I have no idea. But if you
Well-
work construction, you probably have to travel. What I'm telling you is not violate the law. Why don't you stay in the state of Kansas? I was mistaken again. I figured you posted a surety bond, but you didn't. You posted an OR bond.
Correct.
Did you sign OR bond, or did you put up 3,500 cash?
No, I signed a OR bond.
Okay, okay. So, all right, very good. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Your Honor.
Okay. Dakota Griffey. Now, this looks like a surety bond. $2,500. Anytime bail bonds out of Manhattan, Kansas.
Yeah.
All right. Sir, you were on probation in Butler County to Sarah Wheeler. Apparently you violated your probation. And a warrant was filed for your arrest. It's alleged that on or about September 19, 2022, you were placed on 12 months probation. You were in jail at the time. You were released from jail. The officer indicated she would make efforts to transfer your probation to Pottawatomie County, but that you needed to check in and report until then to her. We always tell people to do that. You failed to call her. She communicated with Pottawatomie County's Court Service Office to see if you showed up there inquiring about your probation. The answer was no. It was a courtesy supervision because of a Riley County case. And basically you just failed to complete your conditions of probation in this case. So you're going to need to go back in front of Judge Webster on September the 11th. Are you working right now?
I'm almost there. I basically am trying to hear back from the manager at Sonic, but I just literally had an interview. Yeah. My bad.
All right, well, since you're not employed, I'm gonna go ahead and appoint Darren Patterson to represent you. I would recommend that if you are revoked, that they add $150 to your case for attorney's fees for him, but I will appoint you an attorney. And that means you need to appear by Zoom like you are right now at 8 a.m. on September the 11th.
Okay.
All right.
Uh,
Anything- Let me, why don't you write down your attorney's telephone number?
Okay. It's right here.
Okay.
All right, I'm ready.
316-322-7700. Darren, Darren Patterson, Patterson. He's in El Dorado. I wouldn't start calling him till Monday because it'll take a few days to get his appointment papers and to receive any information about your case. All right. So next week,
Okay.
start calling him and stay in contact with him.
Is it going to be in the same Zoom link and like password and all?
No, you'll get a new one from him.
Okay. All right. Thank
That's a
you.
good question. Hang on just a minute, Mr. Regier. Is there anything from the state?
Your Honor, more of a point of clarification. Looking at the continuing bond, it looks like 2,500 professional surety, which I'm assuming the court is going to approve if the court will allow me to say so. However, the bond itself does not appear to address any standard conditions. I'm assuming all those would apply in this case.
Yes.
Thank you. Your Honor.
Primarily don't violate the law. I don't know there are any witnesses or anything. So don't violate the law.
Sure.
And yeah, I did say there was a 2,500 cash or surety, but you're right. It's a different bond form they used and there isn't anything about any particular conditions. All right. Thank you. You're free to go.
Thank you.
Cinderella Heiss has 2 cases.
Your video on?
It is Butler County District Court.
He is here. I'm just asking. him
Yeah.
to- Yeah.
Great, thanks.
Go.
Okay, he's right here. I'm just helping him get his stuff situated.
All right, great. Mr. Burkholder,
Yeah,
all right. If you ever have any difficulty, you can always come to the courthouse on the south side. We have a Sallyport. And you go in that back area and they have equipment set up for you.
Okay.
We are on the record in 23 CR 245. You're charged with a simple battery of 1 Cheyenne Roberts. It's alleged that on or about the 24th day of January 2019, so this is an old case,
Yeah.
that you caused physical contact with her. So you made physical contact while you were angry, or insulting her, or in a rude manner. In other words, it wasn't in a kind sort of invited touching. So it was an uninvited touching. All right, I'm going to enter not guilty plea for you. This is not charged as domestic in nature like domestic violence, but it is still a B-person misdemeanor if convicted with the maximum 6 months in the county jail and a maximum $1,000 fine. You're going to have to go in front of Judge Webster, but that won't be until September the 11th, 2023 at, I'm not sure the time yet. Hang on just a minute. I do want to set a $1,500 OR bond for you. So
Okay.
you're going to sign your own bond and you'll have to go to the courthouse to make arrangements for that. You probably are going to have to go run to the detention center on Stone Road. Do you know where the county jail is?
Yeah.
And you're probably going to have to be printed and mugged on this because every new case that gets filed has to have a new ORI number, an agency number that's assigned to you and or that charge. And so there's a booking and processing procedure that has to go along with it.
Okay.
Have you had continued contact with Cheyenne Roberts?
Not lately.
Okay. I'm going to ask that you, during the pendency of this, until you talk to an attorney or further order of the court, that you not have any contact with her.
Okay.
You don't share a child with her or anything, do you?
No.
Okay. Don't violate the law. When you get processed at the jail, you'll be immediately released.
Okay.
Because you're not gonna have to post a bond. And you've got the court date. Now my question is, are you in a position that you can find your own attorney and pay for your own attorney to appear with you on September 11th?
I have one.
All right. Who do you think that might be?
Ma'am, my name's Mark Lewis. I'm his staff, for lack of a better term. He has he's on court services right now, probation for another case. I do believe he had what was his name? Bigger gentleman. I can't remember his name. He was court appointed.
Probably Mr. Fabre.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that doesn't.
So he's going to probably need a court appointed because he does not actually probably have representation at the moment, and he doesn't have the means for one at the moment.
Okay, so if you're a caseworker, is he on Social Security?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I'm going to appoint Darren Patterson to represent him. And that means he has to report for court on September the 11th by Zoom, like you're doing right now, at 8 a.m.
Okay, at 8 a.m.
And yes, and if you're having any problems with your Zoom, like right now, you need more light or something, it's very dark.
Okay.
And Judge Webster's pretty particular about being able to clearly.
We'll probably just go down to the Sallyport.
Perfect. That's your best bet. And you're welcome if you're his caseworker to accompany him.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah,
right.
We'll be there at 8 a.m. on the 11th or September 11th, you said?
Yes, September 11th, 8 a.m. Darren Patterson is his court-appointed attorney. His number's 322-7700. But I would give him, probably till the first of next week, because it'll take a little bit before he gets the case and the appointment.
What was the number again, ma'am?
322.
Okay.
7700.
Okay.
That's 316 area code.
Yep, I got all that. And you said he has to be processed. We can do that tomorrow, correct?
You'll see come up on your screen. What's it say? Join room. You're going to go into a private meeting with Lieutenant Sergeant Spickler.
He'll be Deputy Dean.
Yeah. And he's going to tell you when and where.
Okay.
But I'm fine with it being tomorrow. But it's up to them what you can work out with them. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okie dokie. I have and he's here. Sir, they also elected to summons you and not issue a warrant, apparently. That summons was signed by Judge Webster. It is for an alleged violation of possessing marijuana on or about the 25th day of July, 2022, and also having a pipe that it's alleged can be used to inhale or ingest marijuana. They're both Class B non-person misdemeanors. If convicted, you could serve a maximum of 6 months in the county jail, up to $1,000 fine. There are no mandatory minimums. I do believe that the county attorney's office, if this is your first offense, is, offers a diversion. But you'll have to follow through with them on that. Sir, are you going to hire an attorney to represent you? You want me to enter a not guilty plea, give you a new court date and let you talk to an attorney?
Yeah, I can hire an attorney, Your Honor.
Okay, very good. I'm gonna give you plenty of time to retain an attorney and have the attorney present with you on September the 11th, 2023 at 9 a.m.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna let you sign your own bond for $1,000. But you will have to be processed through the deputies and they'll give you directions for that. But you won't spend any time in the jail or anything.
Thank you.
Okay? All right.
Your
There's
Honor?
gonna be something that pops up on your screen as well. Yes.
In light of the charges currently before the court, if the court is going to allow the defendant the privilege of an OR bond, the state would respectfully suggest no contact with illegal drugs as a special condition.
Mr. Wakefield, you cannot possess or use marijuana in the state of Kansas. No other drugs or alcohol, no drugs that aren't prescribed to you, okay, while you're on bond in this case.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, I show that's it for first appearances today. Anyone have anything else before the court?
Not to my knowledge, Your Honor.